Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we pay special tribute to Senior Master Sergeant Chip White on the occasion of his retirement from the United States Air Force. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to stand and be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, during the national anthem, military members should stand at attention and civilian guests should place their right hand over their heart. We are honored to have with us as our presiding official for today's ceremony, Special Assistant to the Director, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, Colonel David Schwartz Clementi, and his wife, Michelle. Sharing this special occasion today are many family members and friends, senior officers, and fellow airmen. We are extremely honored to have in attendance Senior White's family. Please hold your applause until everyone has been recognized. His wife, Ashley. Their children, Olivia and Avery. His mother, Luana Barrett. His father, Paul White. His grandmother, Georgia Ichadi. His great-aunt, Gloria Doe. His mother-in-law, Mary Kanata, and her husband, Steve Kanata. His sister-in-law, Corinne Dezudi, and her husband, Joe Dezudi, and their sons, Dante and Luke. We would also like to welcome our distinguished guests. Please hold your applause until everyone has been recognized. The Commander, 33rd Fighter Wing, Colonel David Skalitsky. The Command Chief, 33rd Fighter Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Joshua Habercorn. The Deputy Commander, 33rd Fighter Wing, Colonel Zachary Probst and his wife, Emily. We would also like to welcome all commanders, honorary commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, members of the local community, and members of Team Eglin who have taken time out of their busy day to share in this special occasion.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of the official party and remain standing until the announcement of my sister Olivia, followed by the invocation given by Chaplain Curtis.
God, we come to this sacred moment today not with grief, but with grateful reverence, for this is not just the end of a chapter, it's the divine turning of a page. And over this page, we declare your promise, God makes the unfamiliar path clear. Thank you for Senior Master Sergeant White, a servant leader forged in discipline, tempered by sacrifice and sustained by grace. For 21 years, he walked through borders that changed, missions that shifted, and environments that stretched him. But through it all, you made the unfamiliar path clear. From his first salute to his final formation, you guided him through danger and deliverance. Through policy and providence, in every PCS, in every midnight phone call, in every lonely moment, you lead his way. You turn the dark paths into light and rough terrain into smooth purpose. And now as he steps into what is next, into this uncertain terrain of transition, we declare again that you, God, make the unfamiliar path clear. No more rank on his chest, but still royalty in your eyes. No more stripes on his sleeve, but still a son with a future. We pray that you bless his wife and his children, make their unfamiliar path familiar because you will be with them. So we stand on Isaiah 42:16, his favorite scripture, not as poetry, but as a promise. You have led him then, you will lead him now. You have carried him then, and you will carry him forward. Make the unfamiliar path clear, not by our plans, but by your hands. We pray that you bless him and that he would hear you say, well done, good and faithful servant. In your name, amen.
Thank you, Avery, Olivia, and Chaplain Clemens. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce you to the presiding official of today's ceremony, Colonel David Schwartz Clement.
Ladies and gentlemen, family of Chip, friends, co-workers, distinguished guests, Colonel Skaliski, Chief Havercorn, Brewster, Emily, thank you so much all for being here today to celebrate the retirement of Senior Master Sergeant Paul White. A quick caveat, this is the first time I've ever done one of these. I'm truly honored that you asked me to do this, and I apologize, because I really do feel like your career deserves a lot better than what I've done. But just remember, you asked for this. Here you go. 21 years, 5 months, and 23 days in the Air Force is no small feat. That is roughly, or exactly 7,838 days of service, give or take a few fishing days or days of leave, or times you just didn't feel like getting out of bed and wanted to do a few honeydew projects around the house. A little bit about how I know Chip. So I had the pleasure of sticking around Eglin a year after my command assignment, came back over to the 33rd Fighter Wing and was working in the wing. And in November of 23, Chip came in to take over as the senior enlisted leader of the wing staff, of which I was the acting commander of the wing staff. And so we became a command team, if you will, in kind of layman's perspective, between November and early July of 2024. And I think what struck me the most about my relationship with Chip is that for the first time in 19 years of service, I finally understood why so many commanders went out and interviewed to find the right command chief for their 06 command. It always seems silly, everybody gets hired for jobs with no say or no kind of personal touch points. And it always struck me that 06 commanders would go out and interview a lot of command chief candidates. And then when I met Chip and worked with him, it finally struck me why that happens. And my biggest regret, jealously or selfishly for Chip, is that if I am blessed with an 06 command, I don't have the opportunity to hire you. Though I think General Kane may have set a standard that if I wind up back here, just be prepared to put that thing back. Because I'm going to drag you out of retirement. I got to figure out, I don't want to talk too long. I told Chip 35 minutes was as far as I was going to go. And to which he responded, that's it. All right, so a little bit about Chip's professional journey. So I kind of encapsulated Chip's Air Force journey as one of purpose, humility, and service, mixed with a healthy dose of deadpan humor. and the occasional musical hum. So from the purpose perspective, I think it all started with Chip and Ashley's time at Whiteman. So a quick pause there. I think there's a few reasons Chip is retiring. I think one of them is he wanted to avoid working in an actual comm squadron, which he has successfully done. So I don't know how many senior NCO comm airmen are out there who have never actually served in comm squadron. A traditional comm squadron. Correct me 100% sure. All right, so they were at Whiteman, and he was a member of the Visual Imagery and Intrusion Detection System shop. I have no idea what that does. It was and it is a nuclear assuring mission for the B-2s at Whiteman. And he quickly became the subject matter expert. He became the guy you went to. The system blinked wrong, the cable ran backward, the commander looked concerned. Chip sharpened his technical edge there, but more importantly, he shaped the work culture and traditions that he would take with him throughout his career. This assignment was so formative that the spouses were even involved in their day-to-day operations. He told a story of how Ashley and the other wives would help put those round stickers around 3 hole punches on all the pages of these binders that had to be kept in pristine order. So Ashley, thank you for your service. If I were you, I would trace a direct link between those hole punches and 30,000-pound bombs in Iran last week. And you're the person responsible for that. His drive there helped earn the team 7 consecutive Inspector General Superior Performer Awards. So years later, fast forward, Chip's going to wind up at Pearl Harbor. And so Chip found himself voluntarily stepping into a very interesting tradition that I had never heard of before. And so in the Navy, when a enlisted troop becomes a senior NCO and they pin on chief, did I say that right? It's backwards, right? It goes chief, senior chief, and master chief. Okay, so I passed. So when you become chief in the Navy, you go through this 6-week long initiation process. Think kind of like frat for the Navy. And Chip, I had no idea that an Air Force NCO could volunteer for this, but it's apparently a thing where the Navy opens their doors. It's a tradition they've been doing since the 1800s. And Chip volunteered to do this program while he was at Whiteman. So a funny story goes along with it. You're supposed to have a sponsor. And so Chip shows up on day 1 without a sponsor. And one of the first things you have to do is take a physical fitness test. And I figure that's the second reason you're getting out is because you heard we have to go to 2 runs a year. If I did not have an ADSC, I would be right there. I've never done a profile before, but all right, so where was I? So Chip shows up on day 1. How long have I done? All right, I'm good. 30 more minutes. Chip shows up on day 1, and he doesn't have a sponsor, and so it's physical fitness time. The first part of physical fitness training is, or the physical fitness session is your voice measure. So he walks into the bathroom. I'm only assuming he's wearing socks, underwear, or nothing. So just how I assume this goes down. He walks up, and this fine gentleman named Josh Smith, who is actually here in the crowd, is the individual doing the tape measurements for Chip. And of course, the only viable question you ask when you're sitting there and you're wearing your socks and you're tape measured by a perfect stranger is, hey man, do you want to sponsor me? So some people bond over beer. Chip bonded over his scenes, which is pretty awesome. But obviously that one awkward question forged a lifelong friendship between Josh, Chip, Ashley, and Amber. Forging friendship and lessons of humility, service, and brotherhood. And eventually Chip did pay it forward and sponsored his own airman to go through the chief initiation here at Eglin back in 2024, and thankfully that introduction was not made over a measuring tape. It would be equally or even more awkward. So that was humility, Chip stepping into the unknown as a new Air Force senior NCO at the epicenter of naval operations in the Pacific and becoming and being entered into the chief's mess. And then there's lots, and this is what I kind of been under surface, and this is a super interesting story that I don't think many people realize. So also while he was at Pearl Harbor, Chip volunteered to go out with the Defense POW MIA Common Agency. So for those of you who don't know, the DoD runs an agency that is solely in charge of going and finding individuals who are still missing from hospitals. And so, almost any given day around the world, there are teams out there excavating, talking to people, doing interviews, trying to find not just airmen, but Americans who were lost during the time of duty. And so Chip volunteered to do this. 60 days, right? Almost 2 months. He went to Laos, and he spent those 2 months searching for the remains of 3 missing Air America pilots. They did find the remains. They had a repatriation ceremony, and I asked Chip on the phone a couple weeks ago as we were preparing for this, what was it about that called you? It was service. It was something he always thought was an important part of the creed that we keep with other airmen, that you will never be left behind, that spoke to him. And sacred work, I know that experience will leave a lasting impact on you and the entire family for what you volunteered to do. All right, so shifting gears. Purpose, humility, and service is really how I think you can encapsulate his career. Ask anyone who's worked with him, and they'll say the same thing. Chip made things better. Quietly, consistently, and without fuss. His signature phrase, I'll handle it. And he meant it. Whether the issue is technical, personnel related, or a surprise task from above, Chip didn't panic, didn't deflect, didn't delegate. He just handled it. And once he handled it, you didn't have to worry again. As one chief put it, he made leadership look easy, mixing accountability and morale, mission and mentorship. He was the rare steady hand who made a squadron feel like it was in good hands, because it was. But let's not pretend Chip is all business. He enjoys fishing, though he may tell you it's about quiet reflection. He drinks ice water, not because he's health conscious, but because, as he proudly explains, the ice is free. And I'm going to pause here. I had written some notes about this that I got from somebody, and the more I kept going back, I just decided I have to read this whole thing. All right, so here we go. How much time? I'm good. 20 minutes. All right, so Chip's retirement. I asked a few people for their inputs to help paint a picture of Chip that I did not get a chance to meet. And this was sent to me by someone who I will reveal here. So, Senior Master Sergeant Paul White. Honestly, I never knew his real name until I had to pull his records. I do, however, know Chip. According to him, that's the name he endured since birth. As he explained it, he's a chip off the old block. Who's also Paul, and I was shocked to realize this, like, wait, your dad's name is Paul? Are you not a junior? No, different name. I didn't know that. Paul and Paul. Here's what I know about him. He's the man of simple pleasures. He drinks ice water throughout the day because the ice is free. He enjoys Coors Lights. He missed that good trait from his dad and enjoys Keystone Light, also known as the Never guy. Chip is also an avid fisherman and at best a mediocre pickleballer. Although he is level 9 at watching PBT. Quick story about his first time playing. During our first outing together, disaster struck immediately. Serves landed in the net, drinks flew into the hobby shop parking lot, and he tripped constantly. He indicated the only way he could possibly return volleys was by strapping paddles to his ankles because they kept hitting at his feet. Chip would respond, "It's about the journey." Chip has the most unorthodox technique. I know he's a lefty, but the super fast slap shots that resemble a quick draw dual reenactment of an old Western movie. Here's where I knew there was trouble. Chip received a shot that pickleball players salivate over, a lob shot. This is an opportunity to show your opponent your power and speed with an aggressive overhead smash, intimidating even the most skilled player. Chip's attempt at a dramatic smash, not only did he miss entirely, but he also cut himself in the process. He shamelessly declared, "See, pickleball is a great way to connect." And I've just demonstrated a new grounding technique. Let's just say pickleball is not as strong as attributes. But then, let's talk about the really strong attributes. What many may not know is that Chip and I are fraternity brothers. Born on the crest of the wave and rocked in the cradle of the deep. If you know, you know. Therefore, I hate that I cannot be there to celebrate your retirement. Honestly, it's because of Chip's leadership. We are more than just a team. We are a community. We are empowered to take risks, to innovate, and to support one another. We are driven by a shared purpose and a deep sense of belonging. He doesn't apply a one-size-fits-all solution, but rather tailors his guidance and support to maximize our collective potential. It is that type of leadership we will miss. Walking the halls, smiling, talking to everyone with his free ice water in hand. All the best weather to you and your family in retirement. So that was from the previous Fighter Wing Command Chief, Kelvin Hatcher, who was very sorry he couldn't be here. Okay, I get to skip all that, right? Because I just read. All right. As we celebrate Chip's career, I'd like to recognize the incredible support of his family. So Chip's mom, Luana, and from Colorado, thank you so much for being here and for what you did to create a wonderful American airman. Chip's dad, Paul, not Paul Sr. Welcome, and thank you for lending him to this nation for what was it, 21 years, 5 months and 23 days, and it is a fantastic shirt. Ashley's sister Corinne and her husband Joe, their kids Dante and Luca, and from Colorado as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and show up for Chip's retirement today. Ashley's mom Mary and her husband Steve. Unfortunately, Bill couldn't be here, but apparently he did send Chip a box of his own cigars, so maybe it's helpful. All right, finally, Ashley. We know Chip outkicked his coverage, married up, however you want to say it. You've been here through every TDY, PCS, and promotion. I know Chip is grateful for all you have done and the sacrifices you made, but I want you to know how grateful that I am for giving him to us for the past 2 decades. And although I can't legally speak on behalf of all American airmen or the country, both are forever in debt to you and to your service as well. All right, Olivia Ainsley, come up here real quick. Sorry, did I say Ainsley? What's that? All right, so this is not on the script. Maggie, Megan, I'm sorry. And also a quick thank you to the team who put this together. It takes a village to raise Chip. It also takes a village to so Senior Hoppy, Megan, Maggie, Aaron Zool taking all the pictures of me, Chaplain, good girls. Sorry. Olivia, beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and hopefully there's an encore later. Anyway, okay, back to my script. If I didn't thank you, I'm terribly sorry. It's only the minor players. Olivia, your dad's career was demanding, but his heart was always with you. The strength behind the uniform has always been you there. I hope you continue to look back on this time in uniform with pride, and that you will always remember that your dad was somebody, because unfortunately he's actually nowhere now. So, He was somewhere. All right, so I got this. I stole this idea from somebody who's much more talented and smarter than I am. But I've made two binders for you, and I put on the front. This was another great shipism. How long have I been talking? Ship brought a great tradition that I will carry with me for the rest of my career. And think of it like a yearbook. So he buys all the airmen in the shop a copy of Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. And what he does is, as somebody's leaving, he has the whole shop sign the inside of this book so that they can take it with them. And the message in All the Places You'll Go still resonates even for the men and women serving in the service. So I had the help of some team here print out Ship's entire rope. So all of his surf, all of his EPDs, EPRs, his decorations, so that when he goes places later, you two can always look back on the awesome things you've done for your service. All right, I'm wrapping up here. Are you ready? Absolutely not. I think so. I don't think Chip's ready to retire, and I think that's a great thing. I think if you had got to the point of your career where you knew it was time to leave, it probably was time to leave 5 or 6 years ago. And I told you in the car this morning, it's a lot like Brady, should have just, as much as I'm happy Brady came and won Super Bowl for Tampa, like, leave after your 6, you don't need to come back and prove it again. And so I think it's perfect timing that we leave when you still have question marks or whether you got a little bit more in the tank. And you shared a quote with me this morning that I'm going to share with everybody, because you were telling me for different reasons, and it occurred to me that I should tell it right back to you. And it's perfect for this occasion. So apparently I didn't know that. What's that?
That's a great.
So apparently Chip's known as a no-man, which I didn't know. But anyway, he's known as a no-man. One time a supervisor got perturbed with him, so he sent a text to this quote. And the quote is something like, if you say yes, you limit yourself to just one choice. But if you, or one choice or option, but if you say no, you open yourself up to so many more choices and options. And I think, Chip, if you put that in perspective with retirement right now, you've been saying yes a lot and limiting yourself and your family to one option. I think it's a perfect opportunity to go ahead and say no and open up the world to many more options. Okay, back to the script. All right, so today we don't just celebrate your retirement, we celebrate a true legacy and legend. Chip White didn't just serve, he shaped. He didn't just complete the mission, he made everyone around him better. Hatch, your fraternity brother, put it perfectly. Even if he did call this your quitting party, he said true success isn't about hitting metrics, it's about building relationships, fostering growth and creating a positive impact. That's what you've done, Chip. That's what you will always be known for. The Air Force will miss your presence and your impact, but your legacy will last long after you turn in your CAC and update your LinkedIn to say retired and handled it. Congratulations, Senior Master Sergeant White. You handled it, and you did it well.
Thank you, Colonel Clementi. Senior White, please come forward and join Colonel Clementi for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal to Senior Master Sergeant Paul A. White for meritorious service 6 November 2023 to 30 September 2025. Senior Master Sergeant Paul White distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Senior Enlisted Leader, Wing Staff, 33rd Fighter Wing, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. During this period, Sergeant White's superb leadership and care for the readiness, training, health, morale, and quality of life for 93 American airmen was proven through climate survey improvements in 21 areas that exceed Air Force averages, and his airmen earning 2 major command annual awards, a Levito Award, and 17 traditional and below the zone promotions. Additionally, he enabled Allied interoperability by advising and integrating 11 sections to support the stand-up of a breakthrough F-35 foreign military sales pilot training mission at Ebbing Air National Guard Base. Furthermore, Sergeant White played a pivotal role in the stand-up of Air Education and Training Command's first F-35 mission defense team by pathfinding through mission scope, manning, and integration challenges for 4 major commands to enable robust vulnerability assessments that will safeguard 53 F-35s worth $5.8 billion from future cyber threats. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant White culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Colonel Clementi will now direct the publishing of the retirement order. Publish the order. Attention to orders. Special order number Alpha Charlie 000460, dated 7 October 2024. Senior Master Sergeant Paul A. White, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida, effective 30 September 2025. You are relieved from active duty, organization, and station of assignment. Retired effective 1 October 2025 for AFI 36-3203 in the grade of Senior Master Sergeant by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, Senior Master Sergeant White will be presented with a certificate of retirement from the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force and the Commander, 33rd Fighter Wing. It reads, Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Senior Master Sergeant Paul A. White, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the 1st of October of the year 2025. Signed, David W. Alvin, General, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and David M. Spilitsky, Colonel, Commander, 33rd Fighter Wing. Senior Master Sergeant White also received letters of appreciation from the President of the United States and the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, which will be on display at Murphy's following ceremony. At this time, we would like to invite Mrs. White to please come forward for the retirement pen presentation. The retirement pin is presented at the retirement ceremony to signify membership in an elite organization of men and women that have served the United States Air Force and their country with pride, honor, and distinction in wartime and peace. We would now like to present Mrs. White with the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and the Commander, 33rd Fighter Wing. It reads, Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Mrs. Ashley White for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Given this first day of October, 2025, signed David W. Alvin, General, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and David M. Smilitsky, Colonel, Commander, 33rd Fighter Wing. We will now present the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. It reads, on behalf of all Air Force airmen and their families, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force presents this Certificate of Appreciation to Ashley White. I join your spouse, family, and friends in thanking you for the numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of our United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service in defense of our nation. Given this first day of October, 2025. Signed, David A. Flosky, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Thank you, Colonel Clemente. You may be seated. We would now like to invite Olivia and Avery to come forward for the presentation of the children's certificates. Olivia and Avery, you distinguish yourselves by providing selfless, faithful, and dedicated support to your father, Senior Master Sergeant White, during his exceptional 21-year Air Force career. As a child of a member of the Armed Forces, you have overcome innumerable challenges, such as frequently moving away from your friends, acclimating to new surroundings, and enduring extended separations from loved ones. Your steadfast love and unwavering commitment have enabled your father to focus on the Air Force mission and make significant contributions to our country and its allies. Your devotion to your father reflects great credit upon yourselves and your family. Signed, Colonel David Smilitsky, Commander, 33rd Fighter Wing. Thank you, Mrs. White, Ashley, Olivia, and Avery. You may take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you for the first time Senior Master Sergeant Chip White, United States Air Force, retired. We did it. Here we are. I don't know what water's mine now, so get after it. We had to go on away breakfast last Friday, a lot of you were there, so hopefully
This portion goes better than our breakfast on Friday. If you weren't there, I made about half a sentence, so I'm already doing better than that. And then my beautiful wife, Ashley, how she has many times in the past, can't say them. Because I was going to lose it. But no, thank you. First, I'd like to thank everyone that made this event possible. Everyone, thank you so much. You're awesome. You bring the spirit together, so you really good. Miss May Carol has also helped with everything. She put all most of this together, even though she told me she hated me. Said I was stubborn, then asked, how does Ashley put up with me? Thank you, Megan. Next starting Young Vegas, thank you very much for everything. Look after this. Sergeant OM, thank you for putting everything together. Our protocol team, Maggie, Matt, thank you so much for everything you did for this one. I really appreciate it. And finally, to the ATC where we're at, I appreciate the staff, Christy and Jerry Waller. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hoppy, for narrating today. Chaplain, you roll out. Sweet. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Airman Brown, DTV, thanks so much for being here and, making sure I'm all right. Airman Brown works in our CSS and he keeps me squared away 98%. UNC Graves, thanks buddy, I appreciate you escorting the family out. Senior Airman Parson, yeah. Don't worry, dude, I still got my cat for a while, so we'll go get that Parson special over there. I got you, buddy. Avery, awesome intro, thank you, baby. I really appreciate it, especially that you got to do that. Olivia, the national anthem, thank you. You know you worked really hard on that. Thank you, my mom, my dad, for being here. Joe, Corinne, the boys, Mary, Steve, thank you. I'll get to all my crew over there in a second. Aunt Gloria, Grandma, Jerry, Miranda, Daisy, thank you. Colonel Skolinski, thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor to serve you. You and the leadership team have made this like a premier destination for everybody. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Colonel Coates and Emily, thank you. Thought I mentioned. Make your wife first. So, funny story when we bring this up. Emily gifted us a great Stanley with her real estate company. And if anybody's noticed, I stopped carrying that awesome mug around because it had Colonel Coates' name on it. I just thought it would be weird if I walked around with Deputy Wing Commander's name on my cup. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Chief Evercore, welcome. The 33rd is awesome. You're going to enjoy it. You do great things. There's nothing else for Broncos fans. So everybody, it's going to do it. Colonel Turner, Michelle, girls, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being my wingman after short stuff. We really appreciate it. Michelle, thank you for being here. Thank you for letting us steal him for a couple days. Colonel Menti, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. We had a lot of good times, good chuckles. If you didn't know this guy, he likes fancy stuff. We'll just leave it at that. We're going to go drink beers here in a second. Free ice situation, full disclaimer, he started it. As a good follower and leader, I just had to go do it. Okay, alright, sorry for the long thank yous. What are we doing here? Alright. So I went through this speech probably 3 weeks, changed it, didn't write it, thought through my head, went on long walks, didn't know what exactly to say at this moment. Still don't. But one thing I will say is, I'm humbled to have somebody in this audience that has been at one side with me. Throughout my whole career. Obviously my wife. But also the family you gain along the way. When I'm through career, you're not pitched on what's going to happen in the military, you're just pitched on the job. You're not pitched on the joys of serving in your military family. And the stories you get to experience it. We were sitting around at dinner last night. It was awesome to see that I have friends and family, or military family that have been with me since day one. Senior boys, Rusty, we went to high school together. He was my brother. Later at the bar, we talked about a story that I probably would be in the Air Force when I went away. So thanks, brother. The last time we were at dinner, I just thought about how awesome it is that everybody came when they were there, and anybody that served, you just kind of pick up where you left off. It's not awkward. It's just whatever last see you later you had, you grab a beer and you start from there. So I'm just going to highlight the people that are here for me today, because I wouldn't be here without their mentorship, their guidance, or their leadership. So from Wyman Air Force Base, Mr. G, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So just quick stories. Sterling, Mike, and Terry, they were also there. Mike was like our NCYC. He was the one that kicked us when we needed it, but also put his arm around us when we needed it. Mr. G trained almost all of these guys. Doesn't exist anymore, but that came through the Air Force. Mr. G is a legend. And we thank you so much for all your service and you in this country. Who else? Tremblay. Here we are. Yeah, Tremblay also is there. Nice. Yeah, thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. Is there anybody else here from White? You all did. There is one Supreme that I want to say because it's also changed my entire trajectory. If anybody has his contact information, I'd like to call him. There was a first sergeant, and as we've talked about younger airmen, I always joke around with Mac that first sergeants can change. Tuna knows the story. I have scar tissue for this story, so I'm going to let everybody know so I can get it off, and then we can move on to our lives. When I went through the Navy Chief initiation, they asked me to name a senior NCO that, meant something to you or changed your trajectory. This was the first sergeant at the 509th Communications Squadron, Master Sergeant Cherry. I don't know if anybody remembers it. Yeah. Our textbook was year long at the time, so when you get there, you're like, oh, I'm like the high tech school guy, I know what's going on in the Air Force. And so you move over first sergeant, Master Sergeant Cherry, and he calls you in his office and he says, Airman White, you missed 2 mandatory appointments. What's your excuse? And I said, I don't have an excuse. And he said, well, from now on, anytime I see somebody with the last name White, I'm going to think they're a piece of shit. That has stuck with me my entire career. I'm proud of my last name. I'm proud to wear it on this uniform. But yeah, that was just... So the first one was Wyman, we went to Charleston, and we met Ryan, Gordon, Benny, Becca, and their boys. Also, it was my first stint with Chief Coleman, who's in the back. She was a tech and master at the time. Thank you both. That assignment gave me and Ashley, our best friends for life. He's an awesome dude, but I'm gonna talk about him at the other time with Charleston. Anybody else here from Charleston? Roll call. Alright. Right Pat. Mikey. Mike Sullivan, retired senior master sergeant. I was a staff sergeant when I got to Right Pat, worked at the National Reconnaissance Office. I ended up making tech, but Mike sat me down one day because I wasn't happy. I was disgruntled and I was bringing down the entire shop. And he told me that I needed to pick up my life, pretty much pick it up, get it together. Everybody's on one team. And then he also said that I was always against world wars, and he was the one that was like, "Look, dude, you gotta take care of it, and take care of you." And he always just like kind of, awards aren't a big deal, but Mike was there to look after me as that like senior NCO in our shop, and just that sergeant to kind of look after all this, make sure everything was running smooth, and just be like, "Stop that." Hawaii. Tim, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Josh, my sponsor. Yeah. When I got to Hawaii, I did the Navy Chief initiation. That was a family I never knew, a military family that I never knew I was going to get. The Navy Chiefs taught me how to be a senior NCO. They do a great job of bringing up their own and showing you how you serve and how you become effective in the meaning of being a senior NCO. So thank you for that. And thank you, Chief Master for everything they've given me. And our newest chief, Son Miller. So that's what I was going to offer to Charleston again, Chris. Thank you, Shane. Awesome. He mentored me to become the senior master sergeant that I am. Thank you for all those nights where you sat down with me and you were like, "Hey, dude, this is how you do X, Y, Z." I really appreciate that. You gave me a lot, and hopefully I get a little bit back. So thank you. What else do we have? Oh, Reggie. Sergeant Warner, that was one of my troops at Charleston. He just made master sergeant. Congratulations. P2 is thinking about going to chief initiation. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Song. Cap. Cap was at my assignment in Korea. All on tops on the beach. At the golf course. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. And Eglin, the 33rd Fighter Wing, Bolton, the Nomads. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. From all the different directorates and all the branches, from the bottom of my heart. There's a reason why I get up in the morning to go see these. So, thank you so much. This is an incredible family. And I'm happy to be a part of this one too. It doesn't stop here. You all will be part of my military family. I look forward to honoring each of you one day, the way you come out and support Ashley and the girls. So, I wrote a deep breath. Danielle? All right. Mary and Steve. Thank you so much. I know Bill's can't be here, but thank you for everything that you've given us. Thank you for always being there for Ashley and I, and the girls. You mean so much. We really appreciate it. Mary and Bill have known me since I was 12. I sat next to Ashley in 7th grade. She was my first girlfriend. And look at us now. So thank you so much for always being there on this journey. Never hesitated to be there when we needed you. So thank you. Friend Joe and the boys, thank you so much for being there for your sister. Friend, Ashley, last time we were here. Thanks so much. Joe, thanks you. Solid. Daisy, Miranda, Sherry, and Gloria, thank you for being here and celebrate this day with us. It means so much to have family here. Grandma, thank you for always saying a prayer and loving me, even though I am terrible at calling you. I love you so much. And you didn't go me. If you have a program. We're including the program that's being run by Grandpa. Who's there? Grandpa thinks it's pretty. Then he passed away with us in Korea. That just goes back to some of the sacrifices that we have to make. But I love him and everything is here. Okay. Mom and Dad. Yeah. Thought we did pretty good in our last 8 years. Sorry for the teenage years. But I feel like you guided me in the right calling, and you're of course turning around. I probably grow up some more, but at this point, all right. Olivia and Avery, I'm just going to use this. You are strong, resilient, beautiful, smart, and talented. Thank you for making your dad soften. And always being there for me whenever I needed you. Thank you for taking care of your mom when I was gone. I love you guys more than you ever know. I can't wait to spend the summer with you. And I'll never leave you for longer than 7 days without taking you with me. Right? Mark? Ugh. Ashley, didn't mean it like that. You're the foundation, glue, duct tape, anything you can find that keeps this family together and grounded. How you have put up with me for 20 plus years, no doubt has a lot of people wondering. Thank you for always being on my side, fixing me when I need to fix, always being supportive in the right situation, and never wavering when I was called rude. I love you more than you know, even the girls know everything. Thank you so much for all you do.
Coors Light.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I had a great time in my career, and I'm going to go have a great time with my daughters. Ashley and I have been truly blessed to serve the Air Force for the last 21 years. Our friendships and stories have no doubt been the highlight of my career. And I look forward to making more with all of you as well. Wolverines. Nobody knows that.
Thank you, Senior Master Sergeant White. Senior White, the men and women of the United States Air Force are proud to have served with you. Your knowledge, wisdom, dedication, and friendship will be sorely missed by all. We wish you well as you begin this new chapter in your life. Colonel Clementi invites everyone to join him in congratulating Senior White and his family through a receiving line and at a reception immediately following the ceremony over at Murphy's Place. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party, family, and distinguished guests. For your convenience, the words to the Air Force song are printed on the back of your program.
We're almost done, but we're not yet. We have a rule, some of you are aware of it, no drinks or alcohol is in the academic training center auditorium. We have a new rule that I just started, about 2 seconds ago, that the ceremony is not over and no one can go to reception until we sing the Air Force songs. And if you don't know the words, where are they? Back of the program. Back of the program. Okay. You have the words right here. You ready to do it? All right. Well, I hope you're in the right key. All right. Back to the program. If you don't know the words, I see some kids here. Just going back over there. I expect you to be singing the loudest. Okay? So here's the first one. Okay. That's the problem. Okay. You got it.
Down we dive, sputtering our flames from under, off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, we're down in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for presenting.